Obviously, AI has been a massive explosion, if you like, across the world, but particularly in education. There's a lot of excitement. There's also equally a lot of fear around the use of AI, particularly around the ethical use of that, with data potentially being used to train a model. So what's been good to see over the last few months is companies and providers looking to offer essentially what's a walled garden for particularly schools to be able to use the AI in a more ethical way, because that data then isn't potentially being used to train a model and is being used in a secure and internal way. So you've got much more control over the use of the AI. The key thing from my perspective is about training staff and training students and giving them the opportunity to experiment a little bit with what's possible, but also an understanding of the kinds of things that need to be borne in mind when you are using AI, particularly from an educational perspective. We're using a lot of tools that Canva provide with students. So the ability to be able to use the AI tools from a creative perspective have been a real bonus. Students are able to very quickly manipulate an image, manipulate a video, remove a background, replace an image within a particular image. So if you've got a student holding a rose, for example, but you don't want it to be a rose, you'd like it to be a microphone, you can just quickly magic edit that and swap it over, which is fantastic. So the generative AI from an artistic point of view is really helpful. Also really good as well for teachers. If you want to just create a stimulus for students to write about, you don't have to go searching the web to find an appropriate image that you want to use. You can just ask the generative AI to create one for you, share that with the students and say, here, write a story about, or write a poem about, or write anything you like about what you think's either going on in this picture, or what happened before what's going on in this picture, or what might happen next. So it gives you that opportunity to use those as a prompt. There's lots of opportunities for technology to be used effectively to bridge that digital divide in terms of students' access to various different learning opportunities. Obviously, you've got built-in capabilities through things like the Chromebooks and laptops, where you've got accessibility tools, which students need to be made aware of. So we make a point of making sure that our students are aware of those different tools and are able to set those up for themselves when they're using their Chromebooks. But also things like voice typing within Google Docs, for example, but closed captions when you're in a Google Meet or when you're watching a YouTube video, the ability to be able to control the playback speed for a speed that you're comfortable with, the ability to be able to live translate as well through captioning and live transcription. All of those things make things so much more accessible, particularly for students who are learners with additional needs, or maybe even additional languages. The opportunity to be able to translate what they're hearing in the classroom, not just what they're seeing on paper or what they're seeing on document, but actually the live environment, I think is really, really important to be able to make that fully inclusive experience. So from my viewable perspective, what's also really great is the ability as a teacher to be able to use any background we like. So if we're using a particular stimulus, we're able to change the background, change the color, make that more visually accessible to the students, but also then to be able to draw in things like the picture dictionary, and also the ability to be able to use immersive reader to be able to live translate or to support those students who may struggle with the literacy element. All built into the boards is a fantastic addition and puts those tools right in the palms of the teacher's hands. So as part of the digital movement, we're obviously seeing statements from exam boards at the moment about the arrival of digital exams, and I think that's a really positive step forward. I've always been, as a language teacher, of the opinion that you should be able to complete an assessment or an exam in a format that suits you, and whether that's spoken, whether that's written, that really should depend on you. So from my point of view, I don't see any reason why a student shouldn't be able to write their answers on a piece of paper, write their answers on a document, but equally record a video, provided that they're able to still demonstrate the same skills and the same knowledge and the same application of that knowledge. Actually, we're providing a more accessible experience for those students. and particularly those students that have got specific needs and difficulties that they already have to negotiate on a daily basis, making the exam experience more accessible through the digital process, I think is a really important step forward, and one that is very exciting, but at the same time needs to be a balanced landscape with some joined up thinking. So at AET, we've rolled out a huge suite of ViewSonic boards across many of our schools, and our technology support officers have been first and foremost in terms of delivering training for our teachers on how to get the most out of those boards. One of the things that I think has been really beneficial has been the fact that we're able to push the ViewSonic companion app out to teachers' Chromebooks, and that means that they can walk into the classroom, they can turn on their ViewSonic board and very quickly, using the camera on their Chromebook, just scan the QR code and be straight away logged into the board and ready to go within seconds. And that really removes those kind of micro interruptions that have a massive impact on a daily basis. Even though it's only a few seconds at a time, when you add all of that up, it makes a huge difference. So the confidence to be able to just walk in, zap a code and be logged in straight away securely and able to access your Google Drive, bring all of your files through, bring your slides through, but also save things back to your drive really easily is massively helpful for teachers who are really up against it in terms of time in the classroom. The reason we really enjoy working with ViewSonic is not only the fact that we're able to access great products, but also they're willing to listen to our perspective and our point of view. We have the opportunity to speak to our teachers, to put them directly in contact with staff at ViewSonic, and to be able to really think about solving those bigger problems, whether that be through a traditional route of a large screen at the front of a classroom, or whether it's more innovative routes in terms of touchscreen tablets and alternative ways of displaying information and stimulus around the classroom.